Welcome to Riley's Gardening Adventures. Today I'm going to taste test 4 varieties in this special quadruple heirloom tomato video. The varieties will be Green Zebra, Solar Flare, Kellogg's Breakfast, and finally Black Strawberry. I have grown these tomato varieties from Baker's Creek heirloom seeds, but I'm sure you can find seeds from an alternative source. I have laid out these tomatoes and will give my thoughts and experience growing each variety, and afterwards will give a review on each flavor. Before I begin, I'd like to inform you that this video is not sponsored, and you'll be informed if otherwise. The first tomato we are covering is Green Zebra. Green Zebra, as implied in the name, is a green variety which features gorgeous yellow stripes. This tomato was bred by a man named Tom Wagner, who introduced this variety in 1983. This tomato is a small slicer variety which grows up to 3 to 6 ounces and is described to be more tart than other tomatoes. In my experience, this tomato is a wild grower. The plant either needs a lot of support or diligent pruning. I have found this variety to grow the most side shoots, otherwise known as suckers. My green zebras have easily outgrown their stakes and are currently collapsing due to their own weight. The yield in question is moderate in amount, but makes up for it in the visual appeal of the fruit. The next tomato we are covering is Solar Flare. Solar Flare has a similar appearance to Green Zebra, however it's red with yellow stripes. This tomato was bred by a man named Brad Gates, who calls this his workhorse due to their performance. This tomato is a medium slicer variety, which grows up to 6 to 10 ounces. In my experience, Solar Flare is a shining star in my garden. As previously shown in the other videos, my Solar Flare plant is over 9 feet tall and producing quite well despite severe damage early in the season due to a deer. This tomato is also a favorite of my friend Wesley, so shout out to him. The third tomato I am covering is Kellogg's Breakfast. Kellogg's Breakfast is a big tomato that has a bright orange hue. While the name may make you think this tomato is from a cereal company, this tomato was instead bred in West Virginia by Darryl Kellogg. This tomato is a beefsteak variety which can go up to 2 pounds and is said to have a fruity and sweet flavor. In my experience, Kellogg's Breakfast is one of the best performers in terms of plant health. My plant is over 7 feet tall and has vigorous spines. This seems to affect this plant slowly compared to my other heirlooms, like Brandywine. When it comes to you, Kellogg's Breakfast is lacking, but makes up for it in tomato size. The last tomato I am covering is Black Strawberry. Black Strawberry was a featured star on the cover of the 2022 Baker's Creek catalog, and it's obvious why. The coloring on this tomato features a combination of pink, red, with purple streaks and described to be a taste of a plum or a grape. This tomato is a cherry variety with a nice circular shape. I believe this tomato is a new variety due to the lack of information on its history. In my experience, I have had mixed opinions when attempting to grow this variety. While I applaud the plant's resilience to recover from deer attacks, the plant itself seems wispy in comparison to my earlier 3 I have mentioned in the garden list. Whether due to this as a result of genetics or herbicide drift remains to be seen. Yield with Black Strawberry is decent, but pales in comparison to my Cherry Punch tomato. Ripening also seems to take longer. Regardless, the aesthetics make it a nice addition to any garden. Now that all the varieties have been shown, it's time for the taste test!
So, let's get the Green Zebra and see how it tastes. Now, I'm kind of worried about this one because it said it's more tart than other tomatoes, and I like sweet and juicy, so see if that's a problem for me, but I'll try to taste this with an open mind. Oh man, it's really sour. Woo! I think this is more sour than any other tomato I've ate on this channel. I think if you're going to eat this tomato, you have to really, really love sour tomatoes, or fry it like how people fry green tomatoes, because this is definitely one of that is really tart. If you can get past the tartness, the aftertaste tastes kind of like a pickle. Now, I don't know if you really want to try a pickle flavoring in a tomato, but it's like not as strong as a pickle, but has hints of a pickle. So if I were to rate this tomato, I would give this 2.75 to 3. Now, this is because I have a big preference for sweet and juicy tomatoes. This one is kind of juicy. See, you can see all the juice. It's just way too sour for me, and I'm not really a fan. I don't think I'm gonna grow this next year. But if you do like sour tomatoes, this is a must. This is your ultimate tomato. Let me just go finish this up. Alright, so the next tomato we're gonna try is Solar Flare. Now, this one looks similar in appearance to Green Zebra, as there's also yellow stripes, see? This one's less prominent. It's more subtle than this one. But let's have a taste. Now, I have cracking on the top, and I don't think that's going to ruin the flavor, but I just wanted to inform that is happening. Okay. Oh, look at that inside. It's pretty. You can see a comparison. This one seems to have smaller chambers. This one's has huge chambers. Alright, let's go try this out. This tomato is very refreshing. It has an aftertaste like Green Zebra, but instead of tasting like a pickle, it has a very tropical, fruity, refreshing flavor. That's strange to me. This doesn't taste like a tomato at all. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever drank a aloe mango drink, but I went to the store with my friend and he got this aloe mango drink, and it had like bits of mango in it and aloe vera. And when you drink it, it has very similar flavor to this tomato. It's very sweet. Like, this is delicious. Very good. This can actually be up there. I think this is at least 4.25. Grow Solar Flare if you can. You won't regret it. Now we're gonna taste the beefsteak of the floor and Kellogg's breakfast. I'm most excited to eat this one because how big it is and how beautiful. Some really orange. So let's try this one. I don't know where to cut it. Yep, cut on this side. Okay. I think I got a little bit overripe on this side. Let's just cut that out. Alright, and the rest of it should be So, as you can see, this time is a little bit overripe on the side, but very meaty, extremely meaty. Look at that. Where's the chambers? Barely any. Now, it was described to be fruity, and it is. It's fruity and sweet, but less pronounced as Solar Flare. This is like super fruity. This one's fruity as well, but after tasting Solar Flare, you can really see a big difference. I think it would be more optimal if I ate Kellogg's breakfast before Solar Flare, but since it's also sweet, juicy, meaty, just like Solar Flare, I'd give this a 3.85. If you like fruity flavors, and not as fruity as that one, you want a little bit more tomatoey, then get Kellogg's breakfast. It's more of a mix between the tomato flavor and a fruity flavor. It's really good. It's not quite a 4, but it's good. So finally, we have the Oli Cherry Tomato variety, Black Strawberry. Now, it's quite a beauty. And I saw already some reviews on it, mixed reviews. Yeah, but I wanted to give it a shot and see how my own growing experience of black strawberry. Well, let's go taste it. So I'm gonna eat this whole. Well, actually, I'll eat one whole and I'll bite one so you can see the interior. Oh. Oh man. Oh. Excuse me for that. The initial flavor is bitter. Bitter, bitter, bitter. If you're gonna eat this, I would not really recommend so. maybe if you want to try. I think it's more suited for looks. I'll do another bite so you can see the interior. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so this is the inside. It's kind of hollow. The skin is tough. When you eat the skin of this tomato, you really gotta chew. It's not like cherry punch. Not a lot of seeds inside. It is juicy. The juice will squirt out everywhere on your face when you eat this. The initial flavor is very bitter, but if you can power through, it has a pleasant, gentle, fruity taste afterwards. So if I were to rate this all, I would rate this. I'm sorry. I mean, Baker's Creek may have featured this on their catalog and hyped it up on all their varieties, that it's the best tomato we had and all that. This is a 2. This is simply a 2. I think this is the lowest score tomato on my channel. It's just that initial taste is so bitter. It makes the sour tomato taste way more appetizing for me, even though I don't like sour. So this concludes the taste test. Stay tuned for more adventures on Riley's Gardening Adventures.